around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends and neighbors, what do you say? Good morning. Great to see you this morning. This is The Bill Press Show. We're coming to you live from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., bringing you up to date on all the news of the day, whether it's happening here in our nation's capital, around the country, around the globe. Coming to you live on your local progressive talk radio station, on Free Speech TV, and worldwide on our video stream, TawkrTV. Events in the nation's capital. Hi, everybody. It's Bill Press. This year marks the 10th anniversary of doing the Bill Press Show, every day covering the news of the day with the nation's top newsmakers, either on the line or in our studio right here on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Not only that, I go to the White House briefings every day to get answers to the top questions of the day. Bottom line, if it's happening in Washington, D.C., either at the White House or the Capitol, we are all over it. Every day, we welcome to our studio political leaders and reporters and labor leaders and newsmakers to help us understand the issues of the day. You know, we started out as a radio show only, but over the years, we have branched out to all forms of the new media. So today, we're not just a radio show. We are podcasting, streaming audio, streaming video, and we are simulcast live on Free Speech TV nationwide, reaching out to 40 million households on Free Speech TV, in addition to hundreds of thousands on local radio stations and online.
AFGE is so proud to be associated with this show and looks forward to being working with Bill and this show for a long time.
Bill Press is the right man at the right time with the right message.
And thanks to the Bill Press Show, we get our message out to thousands and thousands of people every day. Thank you, Bill Press.
The Teamsters are a proud partner with Bill Press on his show, telling the truth about what's going on with working families. Tune in.
Yes, it's been a fun and exciting 10 years so far for the Bill Press Show. We're looking forward to many more with all of you, broadcasting live every morning from the nation's capital.
On your radio, on TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
A few years ago, plastic bag waste in our city came to a tipping point. It was clear we had a bag problem. My department was tasked to reduce plastic bag consumption. We needed to come up with ways to change human behavior. So we asked ourselves,
Would you like it back?
what do people really hate?
Yep.
Getting punched in the stomach. Preliminary studies showed that the consequences weren't severe enough to warrant behavioral change.
Actually, can I get that double bagged?
So we thought, what do people hate more than getting punched in the stomach? Kissing Helga.
Hey, big boy.
People didn't find her so offensive after all, so we had to get creative.
How many bags? Okay, now, pour this ice water down your pants.
We tried everything.
Eat this rat. Defuse this bomb.
Even fighting your clone. After blowing through millions of dollars of government funds on research, I came up with a brilliant idea.
Why don't we just charge 5 cents per bag?
That's a stupid idea.
Would you like it back?
Yes.
5 cents a bag.
5 cents? 5 cents? Do I still have the option of getting punched?
Honestly, I don't know how everyone else missed it.
Why don't you just get a reusable bag?
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. We've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman, everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today. The only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, $20 a month, a great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Columbine.
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek.
Newtown.
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 How many more?
How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
How many more movie theaters?
How many more houses of faith?
How many more shopping malls?
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough.
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 Demand a plan.
Right now. As a mom.
As a dad. As a friend. As a husband.
As a wife.
As an American.
As an American.
As an American.
As a human being.
For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act.
Demand a plan. Right now.
Right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
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 The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Terrorism. It's a real problem, says President Obama, but we will prevail. Hey, hello, everybody. What do you say? On a Monday, December 7th. So good to see you today. Welcome to the Bill Press Show. Good to have you with us as we begin our 3-hour marathon look at the news of the day on every front. The political front, the terrorism front, the social media front, all across the board. Wherever there's news to talk about, stories to talk about, we'll bring it to you and look forward to hearing from you what you think about it all. Welcome back. Hope you had a great weekend. Got a big bite into the your holiday shopping or tree trimming or whatever the busy weekend brought for you and your family, and are now ready to dive into this new week and the news of the day with us. We look forward to hearing from you by phone at 866-55-PRESS, and of course on Twitter at BP Show, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. And we are so pleased to welcome back Peter Ogburn from his unplanned vacation.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm back. I really can't recommend this great little vacation spot you may not have heard of.
On the other side of town.
Yeah, the other side of town, yeah.
All right, good. Mm-hmm. All I got to say is you look better today than you did this time a week ago.
Yeah, it was a rough Monday.
But you know what? We had Jamie Benson jump in when he finally got back from Maine. Right?
Yeah, I decided to end my vacation.
Yeah.
Once something happened to Peter.
I appreciate that.
Jamie kept things rolling along here.
Excellent.
And Ray Rogers on the job as always this morning. Ready for your phone calls at 866-55-PRESS, and Cyprian Bolding didn't miss a beat last week. He was right here on the job.
Mr. Reliable.
That's it, indeed. And back today as well. So roll Tide.
Roll damn Tide.
I just thought I'd mention it before you did. Because
roll damn Tide.
Probably going to hear about it on the full court press probably every hour.
Oh, I'm going to hear about something else too, Bill.
No, the Patriots didn't lose, did they?
Patriots lost.
Ooh.
Patriots lost to one of the worst teams in football.
There you go. Sorry about that.
I know that's got to hurt.
Sorry about that, Jamie. I didn't know. But you know,
I appreciate you guys getting out ahead of that for me, though. Because I was going to mention Alabama, and I was going to mention the Patriots. But I'm glad we get it out here multiple times today.
So, by the way, Karen and I came back from, I forget where we were the other night, and we got home, and there were 2 packages sitting on our front door. And I thought, and we have had a problem in the past with, in fact, one time in particular, we had a shipment of wine. You can't ship wine to every state, but you can to the District of Columbia. And somebody helped themselves to that wine. That was so. You know, if a package is sitting on your front door, it's a little iffy, right? You know?
Yeah.
There's one guy out in Oklahoma City, John Carlin, who gave an interview with ABC News, and he decided he had the answer to this.
My appeal to the community is for everyone to put a package on their porch to be stolen.
Yeah.
In this way, the criminals aren't going to know what package is real and what's not. I have different surprises in each one. You may have a broken Xbox with a GPS system in it. You may have a dead squirrel with some M&Ms and some duck sauce. Here with some dog poop. So you never know what you're going to get if you take something off my porch. You're going to get caught at some point. And if you don't, I got a package of poop here waiting for you.
You know,
so that's not crazy.
That's kind of a great idea.
If everybody put a package in front of the door, the guy wouldn't know which package to steal and which one not to, right?
It's genius.
I mean, if you see a package on a doorstep now, you know there's going to be something good in it. But if you don't know,
particularly this time of year.
Yeah, if you don't know, maybe you won't steal. Maybe you can get that dog poop. That's really funny.
Not bad. That guy's he's not crazy.
No.
Not crazy. Yes, indeed.
I mean, it's a little crazy, but but I like it.
Coming up, Elias Isqu from Salon magazine will join us a little bit later in this hour. We will have Kyle Kondik from the University of Virginia Center for Politics as well, and then Jennifer Hoppe from Moms Demand Action on Guns, and President Obama with a very powerful 13-minute speech from the Oval Office last night. What did you think about it? We'll talk about it. But first,
this is the Full Court Press.
Just a couple of other stories making news. Let's start off with some good news, because at Maranatha Baptist Church in Plains, Georgia, yesterday, Jimmy Carter made the announcement that he is cancer-free. Jimmy Carter is 91. We remember not that long ago he came out and said that he had brain cancer, but he said that his most recent MRI brain scan revealed no signs of the original cancer spot and no new ones, but that he will continue his treatment to rid his body of it. But he says, as of now, cancer-free.
Really phenomenal. That's
beautiful. I love it.
And and it was just a month ago people were starting to talk about the late Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. Yeah. Big news out of college football. We have our college football playoff. The Final Four were announced yesterday. Number 1 is Clemson, the Clemson Tigers. Number 2 is Alabama. Number 3 is Michigan State, and Oklahoma rounds out the top 4. So that means Clemson will play Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, and Alabama plays Michigan State in the Cotton Bowl. Both of those games happen on New Year's Eve this year. By the way, Clemson, which was ranked number 1, their coach, Dabo Swinney, promised that if they entered the college football playoff, he would throw a pizza party for the fans. And that is exactly what he did yesterday. 30,000 fans showed up in Death Valley, where the Clemson Tigers play, and each of them got a slice of pizza and got to watch the big football playoff announcement there on the big screen.
A slice?
In Clemson. Yeah, I know. Look, when you got 30,000 people, I guess you limit it to just one slice. But
also, where did they get all the
I don't know.
pizzas?
That's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
You know, I'm happy for you, Peter. We, you and I now both have 2 teams that are in second place.
And Baby Center, the website Baby Center, released their top names for babies in 2015. These are the most popular baby names for both boys and girls. We will start with girls. Number 1, top baby name, most popular baby name in 2015 was?
Oh, I don't know.
Man, let me see. Mindy.
Mindy, I'm sorry, is not in the top 10.
Iris.
Iris, I'm sorry, is not in the top 10. Number 1 is Sophia. Sophia is number 1.
Is Lucy or Zoe in there too?
Zoe is number 7.
There you go.
Number 3 is Olivia. Number 2 is Emma, to round out the top 3.
Okay.
All right, so boys. Any guesses?
David.
David, I'm sorry, is not in the top 10.
Jonathan?
Jonathan is not in the top 10. Number 1 is...
What's wrong with people?
Jackson. Jackson is number 1. Jackson. No. A lot of these names are a little, frankly... Jackson's a fine name.
That's the name of a town. It's not a boy's name.
Number 2 is Aiden. Number 3 is Liam. Number 4 is Lucas. Number 5 is Noah. Number 6 is Mason. I don't like these.
I think Aiden's the worst.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Aiden.
I'm sorry if you know any Aidens.
Liam's a good name, but a lot of people go with Liam.
Yeah,
it's number 3 on the list.
All right.
No Bills, no Peters, no James.
Let me tell you something.
No Cyprians.
No. I feel so old-fashioned. 2 sons, Mark and David. Jeez, what was wrong with me?
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
What was wrong? Yeah.
It never goes out of fashion.
No. Right. and and our grandkids, right? Prairie,
Yeah.
Willow, Django, Milo, and Silas.
I'm like your kids. I believe in names of destiny, right? I've got Magnus and Gray. Those don't show up on the list very often.
Yeah, I like those too. Right. Yes, indeed, it was a rare moment last night for several reasons. One, for any president to address the nation from the Oval Office, it's got to be a big deal. It's got to be a big reason for doing so. And President Obama certainly had one, with the alarming rise, not only of ISIS in Syria and in Iraq, but these attacks around the globe, inspired or directed by ISIS in Beirut, in the Sinai Peninsula, in Paris, and of course in San Bernardino. President Obama addressing the nation for only the third time in his presidency. He doesn't like that setting, doesn't use it very often. But this is the place, that desk in the Oval Office, where John F. Kennedy spoke to the nation after the Bay of Pigs, where Richard Nixon spoke to the nation, saying he was going to resign as President of the United States, where George W. Bush addressed the nation right after September 11. President Obama did it a little differently. He had the podium in front of the desk and stood at the podium rather than sitting at his desk in the Oval Office. He's more comfortable in that position. I think it gives him a little more energy.
It's a good look.
Yeah,
it's a good look.
Yeah. And he had a very, very powerful message saying that we are at war with ISIS in Syria and Iraq, but we have a strategy. We have a coalition of 65 nations. It is working. I want to reassure the American people of that. He said, however, that terrorism has taken kind of a new role, and ISIS has taken a new role that they know they may not be able to. We've done such a good job of knocking down kind of great big scale terrorist attacks like happened on September 11. So now they're focusing on individuals carrying off isolated attacks against innocent civilians in places where you wouldn't think would be targets, like restaurants or like a holiday luncheon, for example, or people just getting on a plane to go back to Russia. And he said, that is a lot tougher challenge, but our law enforcement is on top of that as well and doing everything we can to find out who might be planning such an attack and to prevent them. The president also said, you can't fight terrorism in this country without also doing something about the easy accessibility to guns, calling on Congress to do their job and passing a ban on assault weapons, and making sure that anybody's on the no-fly list cannot buy a gun. The president then talked about, he shifted to the values of all of this and said the one thing we cannot, as Americans, let happen is to take our fear of terrorism and turn that into a fear of all Muslims. That is wrong. That's un-American. Islam or ISIS does not represent Islam. And then, I haven't heard him say this before, he called on the Muslim community to say that they have a particular responsibility to step up and to denounce these people and to point out to everyone that they do not represent what Islam is all about. And I guess overall, the message we got from that speech, and love to get your take, 866-55-PRESS, the president was very serious and very somber, and I think his message was, we're in it for the long haul. It's going to be a long time, but we will ultimately prevail.
I thought it was a good speech.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good address. I particularly
hit all the right points.
Yeah, I particularly liked the stuff that he talked about, you want to talk about fighting terror. You want to talk about stopping terrorists. Then we need to talk about getting rid of the easy accessibility to these high-capacity assault weapons.
The two are absolutely linked. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and these crazy, nutty Republicans, right, as soon as the FBI said that this woman had been radicalized and then her husband radicalized, probably by her, it looks like, not blaming her, but she looked like the one who really had taken her religion way over into a hate-filled campaign against Americans. and brought her husband along with that. But anyhow, the Republicans, when that came out from the FBI, so many Republicans, Ted Cruz and Donald Trump, and they all said, "Oh, you see, that's it. These liberals, they were talking about having to do something about guns." No, they were all wrong. No, that was wrong to talk about guns. We have to talk about terrorism. No. We have to talk about both. That's and the president was saying that last night. Right? You cannot separate the two. Yes, they were inspired at least by ISIS, probably not directed by ISIS, but they were able to pull this off because they were able to get weapons they should never have been able to get their hands on, these AR-15s and all those rounds of ammunition that they were able to buy, because there is no ban on assault weapons nationally. There is in California, but in California you can buy them online, which is what these people were able to do.
Yeah.
866-55-PRESS, just a little bit from the president last night. Again, he said, we should not feel that this is an unwinnable battle.
As a father to 2 young daughters who are the most precious part of my life, I know that we see ourselves with friends and coworkers at a holiday party like the one in San Bernardino. I know we see our kids in the faces of the young people killed in Paris. And I know that after so much war, many Americans are asking whether we are confronted by a cancer that has no immediate cure.
A cancer that has no cure? No, the president says, we're going to win this battle.
The threat from terrorism is real, but we will overcome it. We will destroy ISIL and any other organization that tries to harm us.
And I think, very importantly, the president made the point that George W. Bush made right after September 11. Al-Qaeda, he was talking about then. Last night, it was the president talking about ISIS. That's not Islam.
ISIL does not speak for Islam. They are thugs and killers, part of a cult of death.
President from the Oval Office last night with a somber, powerful message to the American people. Yes, we've got to continue to fight terrorism. Yes, we also have to do something about the easy availability and access to guns in this community. Did he hit the right mark? Make the right points? 866-55-PRESS. Want to hear from you here on this Monday morning.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner, one of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
This is the Bill Press Show.
27 minutes after the hour, talking about the president's address last night from the Oval Office. And by the way, one other important point, which I forgot to mention in the first block here. The president also called on Congress to authorize the war against ISIS,
right,
which he called for over a year ago, and damn Congress won't even debate it, won't even vote on it. So in effect, the president's out there doing the right thing with no support from Congress. Why don't they take a vote on that? What do you think about the points he made last night? Let's start with Ron out in Elgin, Illinois. Hello, Ron.
Good morning, Bill. I agree. Certainly the global fight against ISIS is important, but we have got to fight the laws that allow this arsenal to be built up legally.
Absolutely.
Like the New York Times said on Saturday, it's a moral disgrace that we have laws that allow people to acquire guns that brutally kill people with brutal speed and efficiency. We've got to do something about that.
Yeah, I mean, that AR-15 designed for the battlefield, that's where it belongs, right? Does not belong in the hands of any law-abiding American. No need for it whatsoever. You're right, absolutely, Ron, and that's the thing, because the Republicans right now, we'll give you some of the sound bites from the crazy Republicans when we come back here after the half. They're all saying, no, forget about the guns. If the only thing they want to do about guns is have more guns, have more people with guns. They think that's the answer. They're dismissing the whole issue of guns. We cannot let them do that. Yeah, we can fight terror and guns at the same time.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. It's that time of year, our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And I got to tell you, we've been doing this now a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice. We love you. You love us. Show us how much you love us. Give us a contribution. Help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing. We're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is we get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people. Damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month. A Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. $120 pledge, $10 a month. A Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington. You and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you into studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it. Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, you bet it is. It's 33 minutes after the hour on this Monday, December 7. Off the weekend, we go into a brand new week brought to you today by the American Federation of Government Employees. What a great group of people. We depend on them to keep our federal agencies working, to keep the government running. They don't get the credit they deserve. Again, I attended their holiday luncheon on Friday with the President J. David, guest of President J. David Cox. Had a great time with all of them. They are proud to work for us every day, and we are grateful for their good work. Find out more about all their good work at afge.org. President Obama speaking to the nation last night with a message that was a very somber one. Yes, terrorism is real. Yes, ISIS is not only a threat in Iraq and Syria, but has become one all around the world, but also a hopeful message and a determined message that we are confronting them on both levels, and we will eventually prevail, calling on Congress to do its job about easy access to guns, and also officially authorizing, passing a new authorization for the use of military force against ISIS, and also calling on all of us not to let fear take over, not to let hatred or fear or discrimination against Muslims take over this whole scenario, and calling on the Muslim community to step up to the plate and assume their responsibility to get the message out that these people do not, the Al-Qaedas of the world or the ISIS people do not represent Islam. Very powerful message. 866-55-PRESS. Will it make a difference? John, calling out in Orange County, California. Hello, John.
Hi, Bill and crew. I enjoy your show.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Where are you in Orange?
Well, I'm in sort of central Orange County, sort of midway between San Diego and LA.
Yeah.
I am somewhat close to San Bernardino, and in San Bernardino, there's another hospital out there. It's called the Arrowhead Regional County Medical Center, and basically it's right in the center of where there's all kinds of crime and homeless people and gangbangers, going into this hospital with gunshot wounds. They actually built a court inside the facility so that when they have these, rough folks, they don't have to drive them anywhere. They can just go down the hall, go into the court, get them processed. Yep, and then take them back to the medical room. But basically, this hospital is also equipped with metal detectors, just airport style. And I'm guessing that we're going to see more of this style of security coming up in the future. But there's one problem, which is state budgets are already tapped, and Republicans in general won't want to pay for anything like that.
Yeah, that's classic, right? I mean, it's just like all the people complaining about the fact that there wasn't more security in Benghazi, when in fact Republicans in Congress had voted time and time and time again against State Department requests for more money to secure embassies and consulates all around the world. And I know budget problems are tough in California, but that's one place that you would think there'd be a priority on security. You can't have it both ways. Hey, John, good to hear from you. Orange County, California. I spent a lot of time there. Yes, indeed. I mentioned the Republicans who are hopeless on this issue. Okay, now, I mean, seriously, think about it. Why does it make sense for anybody who is identified as a threat to our national security, or at least suspicious, worthy of suspicion because of their ties to Syria or to Iraq or a terrorist organization, and therefore is on the no-fly list, and therefore cannot board an airplane in this country or coming to this country? Why does it make sense for that person to be able to walk into a gun store and buy an assault weapon?
Yeah.
Now, I seriously, the only thing you can do to make a case why that's not a good idea is to lie about it, like Marco Rubio did yesterday.
If these were perfect lists, that would be one thing. But there are over 700,000 Americans on some watch list or another that would all be captured under this amendment the Democrats offered. And that's the problem. There aren't 700,000 terrorists operating in America openly on watch lists. They include vast numbers of Americans who have names similar to someone we're looking for. Sometimes you're only on that list because the FBI wants to talk to you about someone you know, not because you're a suspect.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He also said earlier that the majority of people on the list, are on there falsely, that they don't belong on that list. How does he know that? He doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He's just, I mean, the more...
He made that up.
He totally made that up. The thing about Marco Rubio, and people are starting to realize this, I think, he makes everything up. No, he really does. Right? He's done that before on a couple of issues. And so he's just talking about that. Yes, some people have been wrongly placed on the no-fly list, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Teddy Kennedy's name was even on there once, right? But so what are you going to do? Instead of fixing the problem, you just let everybody on there go buy all the guns they want. It's insane. Totally insane.
There's a legitimate concern about the no-fly list and the people who end up there.
Particularly in the beginning?
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. The numbers that Rubio has thrown out there are highly suspect.
Right. So then,
but that's the point. Fix the problem.
Right. So let's talk about lies, all right? How about Ted Cruz, all right? For the first time since 1920, just to show how serious people, I think, are finally starting to get about the gun issue. We thought it would happen after Sandy Hook. It didn't. But boy, it's a lot more serious, I feel. A lot more people ready for action after San Bernardino last week. But so the New York Times jumps on Saturday, the very first time since 1920 that they have put an editorial on the front page of the newspaper, an editorial, very powerful editorial, calling for reasonable, responsible gun safety measures like banning the sale of assault weapons, like universal background checks, like not letting people on the no-fly list buy a gun. And Ted Cruz accuses them of...
The New York Times today has an absurd front-page editorial saying now is the time to disarm every American. Talk about misdiagnosing the problem.
That's a misdiagnosis. Talk about lying through your teeth. That's not what the editorial says at all. That's not what the president is saying. That's not what Hillary is saying. Well, not what Bernie is saying. That's not what anybody's saying. Disarm America. It's just... It's outrageous, the lies that they tell.
Frankly, I wish there were Democrats out there actually saying we should disarm Americans and get rid of all the guns. But that's a myth.
Yeah.
That's never happened. It's never even come close to happening. Did you see, by the way, Eric Erickson's response
to
the New York Times editorial?
I don't want to.
He took a copy of the New York Times to the gun range and shot it. So...
Yeah.
If you want to know where we are and sort of digesting the news and hearing the other side, he just shoots news that he doesn't like.
Right. Yeah.
And he sarcastically apologized.
Yeah.
But didn't actually apologize.
Of course not.
He's an idiot. I'm telling you. And then, all right, let's continue with the liars and with the clowns. All right. If I were a Republican, right? It's not in my DNA, believe me.
I was going to say, ooh.
I'd be embarrassed by these people. Seriously. Okay, Donald Trump, we knew this was coming. If only everybody in that holiday party had a gun, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. If you look at what happened in California, they didn't have guns, they were slaughtered. So I think it would have been a lot better if they had guns in that room, somebody to protect. They could have protected themselves if they had guns.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought when I went to that holiday luncheon, the AFG on Friday, I would have felt a lot safer. Yeah, there were 200 people in the room. If every one of them were packing, I would have felt a lot safer. In fact, they just had their guns on the table. Like the salad was on the table already when we got there. And then you put your gun right, in front of the salad, So yeah, right. So anybody walks in you don't recognize or might look like a Muslim, you just stand up and start shooting. Right?
Yeah, I got a gun.
That's what Donald Trump wants. And it's not just the presidential candidates. Jerry Falwell Jr. I have to say this because I knew his old man pretty well.
Yeah.
And his old man was off the charts on the social issues, and and I debated him many, many times. Jerry Falwell, as crazy as he was, would not have said what his son said yesterday. His son at Liberty University had a big convocation down there, saying again, that's the answer. The answer is they all should have had guns.
If more good people had concealed carry permits, then we could end those Muslims before they walk in and kill it.
Listen to the crowd.
Listen to that crowd. Yeah.
Whoa.
Basically, if we only had guns to kill Muslims, and in fact, then he turns to the students. Right, this is the university, Liberty University. He says, "Here is your challenge."
I just wanted to take this opportunity to encourage all of you to get your permit. We offer a free course, and let's teach them a lesson if they ever show up here. So,
God forbid anything happens on that campus by somebody who's got a concealed permit, right? Just inviting problem, I'm telling you. Totally, totally irresponsible. And what a contrast with the sound and somber message that we heard from the President of the United States last night. Elias Isqu from Salon magazine standing by. We'll get his take on the news of the day when we come back.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a Carol Press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and go on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669, or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
The most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
Welcome back. 12 minutes before the top of the hour here. Monday, December 7. Helping us see through the news of the day on a Monday morning. We're always happy to be able to turn to our good friend, staff writer for Salon, salon.com, Elias Isqu. Hey, Elias, thanks for getting up early for us again this morning.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Hope you had a chance to catch the president's address last night to the nation. Did he hit the right mark, the right tone?
Yeah, I did. I think he did. To be honest, I'm not always, to just be frank, I'm not sure it's going to move the needle that much, because I think this is an issue that people are, and this is somewhat what I think his speech was trying to get at indirectly. There's a little bit, we've gone past the point of reasoning to some degree on this stuff.
Right.
So I'm not sure it's going to really kind of bring people back to their senses quite to the degree that I'm sure that the White House and a lot of other sort of supporters of the president would like. But I thought it was a good speech, and it was certainly a nice contrast with, it's been a while, but to think about the last president who would give speeches in these kind of situations, the difference I felt between President Obama and President Bush in terms of the emphasis on having us, keep our heads steady and keep things in perspective, I think was pretty striking.
He also sort of shot down this phony distinction, I think, that Republicans are trying to make. It's either about terror or about guns, right? And now that we know that these guys were radicalized, this couple was radicalized, let's not Any talk about guns is off the charts. We just have to talk about fighting terror. And the president said you got to do both.
Yeah, I think that's really fascinating. As someone who's, been following the kind of gun safety, gun control politics, certainly since Newtown, but just in general, the way that it looks like this might be scrambling the usual politics of the issue is pretty fascinating. And it was definitely significant. So by which I mean, we're seeing a lot of Democrats then quite reasonably making an argument saying, look, if we're going to have terrorist watch lists and we're going to sort of have these politics of security and fear, it doesn't much make sense to sort of keep guns separate from that conversation if we're going to have it on those terms. And I think it's really interesting to see that the White House and the president basically endorsed that point of view, not necessarily saying let's go around and find more things to be terrified about, but more saying if we're going to be so wary and change our behavior over these fears, let's be realistic and consistent about it.
Right. Yeah. Tying them together, which I thought was very important. The other thing that we sort of lose track of that the president mentioned last night is, okay, the Republicans, or particularly Republicans in Congress, they want the administration to do more in Syria and Iraq against ISIS, but they still have not given him the authorization for the use of military force that he asked over a year ago. So they sue him on the one hand for too many executive orders, and on this one, they're just letting him run basically with his own war without even getting behind it.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's sort of in miniature an example of how I think we got to these consistent politics of sort of endless war without ever declaring it.
Yes.
Which is that, for Congress, it's convenient, certainly if the president's from the other party, to go at the president and to attack the president for any sort of security threats people are feeling, or really just anything, that's going wrong, certainly with national security. But at the same time, it's a lot better to do that without having to worry about having an ad attacking you for actually supporting war. We saw that with Iraq, and it's become the new normal.
I know, but it's their job.
Absolutely. And I hope at least that maybe the silver lining for me to some degree of the rise of, although they seem to be getting beaten down pretty quickly, I was hoping that the kind of libertarian Tea Party type foreign policy people within the Republican Party were at least going to bring us back to a norm of declaring a war before you go at it.
One would hope. Now, I also know that you've been spending some time with a good friend of ours, Ben Cohen, famous for Ben and Jerry's, and also a surrogate for Bernie Sanders these days. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I spoke with him, and he was on tour, and they have some more shows coming up with this kind of jam band called Dawn of the Buffalo. And so I was speaking with Ben again about the effort he's doing called, the Stampede. He's probably spoken with you about it. He's really all in on campaign finance reform. And, certainly he's all in, therefore, on Senator Sanders' campaign. So I spoke with him, and we ran it up on the site last week. I encourage people to check it out. They're trying to do something I think that's kind of fun and different with mixing. He kind of gives an almost inconvenient truth type talk on inequality and campaign finance while there's jam music going on. So for the people who know him by name, it's definitely something they're going to be intrigued by.
What's the site again for people to check out?
Oh, well, people should just Google Donna the Buffalo and the Stampede. That's kind of the name of this larger campaign he's been doing for a while to, raise awareness.
Yeah. Right.
And they have a show coming up early in January, New Hampshire, sort of raising enthusiasm before the primary.
Yeah, we talked about it with him when he was in studio here, and I think we had a link then. Peter, we should put that link up again.
Yeah, for sure. I'll put it out there.
No, but he's a great guy. Great. And when when he was in the studio, he gave away 100 free pints of Ben & Jerry ice cream to our viewers and listeners.
And he cursed on air.
Yeah.
And he cursed on air. And he gave us a couple of free pints of ice cream, to be honest.
So we want him back anytime.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay. Thanks so much, Elias. Good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
As always. All right. Talk to you again soon. Elias Isqu with Salon.com.
Follow.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day. 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman, and all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner, one of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Politics with Kyle Kondik from the University of Virginia, top of the next hour.
Country singer Loretta Lynn, coal miner's daughter, right? Yes. She sat down for an interview with Billboard magazine, and she has some political predictions. Quote, "I think Donald Trump is going to be our next president," end quote. She went on to say, "I like Donald Trump. I mean, Donald's Donald." But she also wanted to point out that she's a big fan of President Obama. Remember, President Obama gave her the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2013. She also says she's a big fan of Bill Clinton. So she didn't say she's voting for Donald. She just thinks he's going to win.
Okay. My advice to Loretta is keep your day job. You know? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all like Donald for maybe just for being outrageous, right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
Not in the White House. Come on, Loretta.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit. to keep Free Speech TV going. You know, we've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman and everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today, the only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, $20 a month, a great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
This is why you took a second job. Why you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. Why you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
This is why you took a second job. Why you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. Why you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
Yes, terrorism is a serious threat, but we will overcome it, the president tells the nation last night. Hello, everybody. Here we are the morning after, Monday, December 7. Great to see you today, and we thank you for joining us here, being part of the Bill Press Show. Coming to you live nationwide, coast to coast, on your local progressive talk radio station. And coming to you coast to coast as well on Free Speech TV. Whether you're listening or watching or both, we appreciate your climbing on board this morning as we tackle the issues of the day, and we'll tell you what's going on. You tell us what it all means to you. Give us a call at 866-55-PRESS or send us your comments on Twitter at BP Show or on Facebook at facebook.com/BillPressShow. The politics of the moment continuing with 56 days now left before the Iowa caucuses. Nobody better to talk presidential politics with than Kyle Kondik from the University of Virginia Center for Politics. Hello, Kyle. Good to see you again.
Hey, good morning.
And your new book coming out in February? Bellwether, Why Ohio Picks the President. Huh?
That's right.
It is true. I mean, Ohio's the key state.
It has voted with the winner in the presidential race 28 of 30 times, which is the best record in that long time frame. And the state almost always votes in the middle of the country, and I'm going to go into why that is.
And yet they won't be playing in the college football playoff.
I'm an Ohio University Bobcat. We're playing Appalachian State in our bowl game, and Ohio State.
Oh, nice.
Tough luck.
Nice.
So I will be rooting for Michigan State though as a proud Midwesterner. So
roll Tide.
So there we go.
Roll Tide. Sorry,
stand
Kyle.
down, Peter.
Sorry.
Another Big Ten SEC game to start it off.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Peter Ogburn leading our team here this morning, and Jamie Benson. Hello, guys.
Hey, here we are.
And welcome back, Peter.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, good. Ray Rogers here on the phones, ready for your calls at 866-55-PRESS. And Cyprian Bolding, our videographer. There he is. Lights on, cameras on. Cyprian is already hard at work. Carrie Fisher, boy, how about? She's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Star Wars brought back by George Lucas.
It's like just over a week until the new Star Wars movie comes out.
Yeah.
I'm
sold
so
out,
excited.
isn't it?
Just about. Yeah, it's going to be monstrous.
Well, they've sold 50 million tickets in advance.
Good grief.
Which is crazy, yeah.
Right. So she was on Good Morning America the other morning and talking about it's hard for a woman particularly, who gets older, unless you're Helen Mirren, right, to get roles in movies. And she had a little conversation about getting older from Hollywood.
Carrie, thank you for being with us.
Look, I wouldn't be anywhere else at this hour except on TV.
I understand that George Lucas personally asked you to come back. Did it take some convincing?
No, I'm a female in Hollywood. Over the age of, let's say, 40, and then we could also say 50. So
you actually physically transformed for this role.
Yes, I did lose weight. And I think it's a stupid conversation.
Okay.
Not with you. Not with you. I mean, it's good with you, but normally I wouldn't talk about it with someone else. But you're so thin, let's talk about it. How do you keep that going on? Do you exercise every day?
I work out
and isn't it boring?
Yes.
But you love it.
I try to put some music on to
What music
to motivate
makes
me.
this worthwhile? No, I want to hear what the song is. Maybe I can go for it too.
Oh, man.
Her whole attitude about it, yeah. She doesn't give a damn, right?
She's awesome.
It's a stupid conversation. Only more people said that.
Yeah, just not on this show.
That's right. Yeah, that makes you want to go out and see the movie if nothing else does. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So Kyle's with us for the first half hour. Jennifer Hoppy from Moms Demand Action on Guns coming up at the half hour. But first,
this is the Full Court Press.
Just a couple of other stories making news. We go to St. Louis, where there was a break-in at the Budweiser Brewery.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, a 19-year-old man entered a private area of the brewery after closing hours, and he got into an altercation with a security officer after he was asked to leave. That means he was arrested. It was a 19-year-old man, and while the break-in isn't that newsworthy, the man who broke in was. The man's name was Bud Weiser.
Well, then, he wasn't breaking in.
No kidding. This guy's name is Bud Weiser. The last name is spelled W-I-E-S-S-R, one more S than the name of the brewery. He had previously been charged with trespassing when he snuck into an ExxonMobil gas station.
Oh, well, that was a little... No, they didn't belong there.
Yeah, exactly. That one we got a problem with. But
I'm not a lawyer, but I could defend him, Kyle. You'd say, hey, I saw the name on it. I thought it was my house or my plant or something. Right?
Maybe, I hope he didn't drink at the Exxon place.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. And also, the Budweiser place, fine, but
Yeah.
These drug dogs that police use, so many of them are trained in Austria, right? This is where a lot of drug dogs get trained. They're very good at this. And so in Vienna, they have a drug dog training facility, and it turns out they were pretty good because they found out that just around the corner from the training facility, there was a marijuana grow farm that someone had popped up just outside of the actual training facility where all these dogs sort of caught a whiff of the plants. And, so they follow the dogs not that far to a man who was at a warehouse. They searched the premises and found 734 cannabis plants, 32 sacks stuffed with marijuana that he had deep frozen in a bag full of dried pot. The man says he did no wrongdoing.
Whoever planted that field of marijuana, they might have picked a better place, right?
Yeah.
Alongside of it.
And we say fair. Go ahead, yeah.
Sorry.
Hey.
It reminds me, when we came back from Spain last week at the airport, I'm used to these sniff dogs, we see them.
Sure.
But usually pretty big dogs, black labs, a lot of them, something. At Dulles, they had this little tiny dog, like the little, maybe a Jack Russell or something.
No, really?
And it was sniffing and everything and was looking for food items. And this one guy had and it jumped up on this one guy. He had an apple in his pocket.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
No. First of all, I thought,
funny
that little
image.
dog doesn't,
Right. It's not terrifying.
It's not going to do the job. And yeah, sniffing through all around the luggage, where the bags come in, right? And this guy was just standing there, and he jumped up.
When they knock off work, and that German Shepherd is bragging about all the guns he caught, and then there's this little guy. Hey, I got a guy with an apple. Just as important as you guys.
Aren't you not supposed to bring food back from other countries?
You're not.
Okay, so is that the...
No.
There's a legitimate... I guess there's a legitimate reason for it.
And the woman who had the little dog, she chewed him out and said he could have gotten a $250 fine.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He just took the apple.
All right. There you go. There you go. I'll do one more, Joe. Oh, did you already hit the sound? I didn't hear that. All right, so back in 1950s, I got confused. Back in 1956, a carpenter who was also a gourmand opened up a French cookware shop in Sonoma, California. That man was Chuck Williams. Yeah. And that store went on to become, you guessed it,
Williams Sonoma.
Williams Sonoma.
Incredible.
Americans started, they recognized the store. They found the store. He wanted to make it into a national chain. Right as we started caring about how we cook and what we eat, and we said farewell to Chuck Williams over the weekend. He passed away at 100 years old, which just goes to show you, you live the good life, you live a long life, maybe.
Little store in Sonoma that moved into San Francisco.
600 Williams-Sonoma stores around the country.
Wow.
$4.7 billion
Still
in
the
net
best
revenue.
place to go for great cookware and everything. Yeah,
I love it.
Just first class.
Very well, Chuck Williams.
All right. So with 56 days, first I do have to ask you, Kyle, because it certainly became a topic of conversation among the candidates for president. President Obama's speech last night, any impact on 2016 or on the political front? Or
probably not. I think that a lot of people's opinions of what the president is saying about ISIS or terrorism are kind of baked in right now. And I do think there was a lot of people in the news game and, both Republicans and Democrats alike who kind of thought, well, there wasn't really a lot of news in what the president said. I will say, just to give him the benefit of the doubt, that
we had to hear from the president.
Something horrible happened. I think a lot of people are very concerned. They wonder, could something like that happen near me? That sort of thing. And so for the president to give an address, it was an important enough, a bad enough event that it probably merited something like that from the president.
And while there was nothing new announced, that the tone was...
Yeah, and also...
and reassuring the American people, right? We're on top of this, and we are going to prevail.
And, just because there isn't, quote, news for the press doesn't mean that there isn't news for people out there who may not have really heard from the president in the last several days about San Bernardino, but they certainly heard about San Bernardino.
So with 56 days now before the Iowa caucuses, Donald Trump holding his own.
Yeah, so what's interesting is that in Iowa and in New Hampshire, Trump has about the same amount of support, 27% in polls.
That seems to be he's plateaued there.
Certainly in Iowa and New Hampshire, he's doing worse than he is nationally, and I think it's reasonable to question the value of the national polls and what is a state-by-state, race-by-race contest that unfolds over several months.
Right.
So, what happens in Iowa and New Hampshire will probably change what the polls look like in South Carolina and down the road. And actually, if you're, if you're a Bernie Sanders fan, and I still think that Hillary Clinton is in real good shape to get the nomination, but it's good for Sanders that his best two polling states are the first two states. Now, they're demographically different than the ones that come after, but if Sanders can do well in one or both of those first two, then I think that does generate maybe a little bit of momentum and credibility going forward.
So are you saying that Trump will likely win Iowa and New Hampshire, and that will make him, kind of catapult him in a stronger position toward the nomination?
I think I don't think Trump will win Iowa because I just don't think that he has enough credibility with the very conservative evangelical voters of that state. Actually, Trump seems to do a little bit better with more moderate voters. But New Hampshire is a much more moderate state than Iowa is. And so actually at this point, I would think that Trump might be favored to win New Hampshire, particularly because the establishment-oriented candidates like Christie, Kasich, Jeb Bush, if they're all still in the race, they're all taking from each other, which gives Trump this big cushion. Trump's lead is only like 5 or 6 points in Iowa at 27%, but in New Hampshire he's up 15, even though he's also at 27%, which shows how kind of balkanized the voting is in New Hampshire right now.
And then if it's not Trump in Iowa, it is Ted Cruz?
I would say Cruz. And think about the freak out from Capitol Hill Republicans if the winners of the first two contests are Ted Cruz and Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
Two people that they have no interest in being the nominee.
No, right.
And I get the sense from talking to a lot of what you'd consider to be establishment Republicans over the last, right before Thanksgiving until now. I think a lot of those folks would have been Jeb Bush people if Bush were performing well, and now I think they're sort of grudgingly going toward Rubio. I don't quite know why Rubio hasn't been totally accepted by those folks. I think part of it is that he's not that moderate. And I think particularly on social issues, he doesn't really believe in exceptions for abortion, which he reemphasized a few months ago in one of the debates. I think that can be kind of a scary position for what you'd consider the establishment Republican types.
Whatever happened to Ben Carson?
I think what we saw with Carson was like what we saw with Herman Cain and Michelle Bachmann and Rick Perry and some of those other candidates in that they have a big splash nationally. They don't necessarily do all that much with that splash. They get exposed a little bit, for Carson's biography. And also the issue focus changed the foreign policy where he frankly just doesn't really have any credibility. What's interesting is that a lot of people, myself included, were comparing Trump to, say, a Herman Cain or one of the other 2011 candidates that sort of sprung up and fell back. Trump is not like that, whereas Carson, I think, was. So Carson sort of fit the mold as he's kind of a flash in the pan kind of candidate. And again, Trump, really hasn't so far.
Is Jeb Bush, well, let me put the three of them. Jeb Bush, John Kasich, and Chris Christie. Are they viable any longer?
I think maybe if two of the three got out, the other one might be viable, because there is a big block of kind of moderate to, quote, somewhat conservative Republican voters. Those are the voters who got McCain and Romney the nominations the last two contests.
I mean, that's the establishment.
Basically, yeah. And if one of those candidates could unify that vote, that person might have the chance to win. Actually, Christie might be the most viable of those candidates, just because he's definitely the most talented politically of the three, I think.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll point this out because I know that there's no danger of anybody rushing away from this program to go watch the competition. But on Morning Joe this morning, they have Jeb Bush, Rand Paul, and Mike Huckabee. Those are their three big guests, right? Who really only exist now to go on TV.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Chris Christie may be in that category.
Yeah, he might be.
Well, Christie, for all of Christie's great great media over the last month or so, remember he didn't even make the main debate last time. Right. And Huckabee has been an afterthought. And you wonder if maybe one of these guys will catch fire in Iowa. But the thing is that wouldn't Cruz be the more natural person to get the vote, or even Carson? Really, Carson could maybe still win Iowa too. Right. Just because white evangelicals just love both those candidates.
I think Cruz is the one who's played his cards.
And, Cruz is also playing for the long game here. In fact, if you talk about Cruz or Trump winning one of the first two contests, I don't know how long Trump would stay in if he didn't keep winning. I could see Cruz just going all the way to the end, because why not? He doesn't really play well with the other Republicans anyway. So what does he have to lose?
Yeah. From the University of Virginia Center for Politics and the managing editor of the Crystal Ball, there, Kyle Kondik, in studio with us. You're welcome to jump in. We invite you to jump in at 866-55-PRESS, and we'll be right back.
Follow us on Twitter @BP Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, starting out with our show with Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner, one of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
At Earth Justice, we defend the environment in the courtroom. Join our fight. When you take a seat, you take a stand. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
27 minutes after the hour, moms demand action on guns with Jennifer Hopper at the half hour. So, Kyle, away from the presidential election for just a second, about a little over a minute here. What's happening on the Senate front? Very, very important.
So I think the key thing about the Senate races this year is that I really think they're tied at the hip to the presidential race. Other than Republican Senator Mark Kirk in Illinois, of course, Illinois is not really a presidential swing state these days, but really all the other key Senate races in places like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, Nevada, Ohio, New Hampshire, all of those states are going to be competitive in the presidential race, and one would think with an increase in straight ticket voting that those states will probably go where the presidential race goes. So you want to know who's going to win the Senate? Follow the presidential race.
So the president, whoever wins the White House, will probably control the Senate as well.
I think that's probably right.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about Illinois. You mentioned Mark Kirk.
Yeah, I think that Mark Kirk is probably the likeliest Senate incumbent to lose across the country, probably to Representative Tammy Duckworth, Democrat. Kirk is already kind of underwater. Another Republican incumbent who I think starts as an underdog is Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. And remember, those guys won fairly narrow races in 2010, great circumstances. 2016 is probably not going to be as good of a Republican year.
Yeah, a lot of very important races there in the Senate. Well, we'll keep track of all of it with you, Kyle. Look forward to getting you back, and thanks for coming in today.
Hey, thank you.
All right, you got it. Back with Moms Demand Action on Guns.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. It's that time of year, our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And I got to tell you, we've been doing this now a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice. We love you. You love us. Show us how much you love us. Give us a contribution. Help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing. We're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is we get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people. Damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month. A Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. $120 pledge, $10 a month. A Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington, you and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you into studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it? Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
Streaming live video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is The Bill Press Show.
Yes, it is on a Monday, December 7. The Bill Press Show coming to you live from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, and our studio right here on Capitol Hill, where we are brought to you today by the International Association of Sheet Metal, Air, Rail, and Transportation Workers. You put them all together, you get the acronym SMART, and they call themselves the SMART Union. Good men and women of the SMART Union under President Joseph Sellers giving a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. And check out their good work at their website, smart-union.org. President Obama last night telling the nation, yes, we are at war against terror, particularly in the form of ISIS, and we will continue to pursue that and eventually prevail. At the same time, he says we have to do something about the easy accessibility to guns in this country. The two of them go hand in hand. Certainly a message we've heard for a long time now from Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. Jennifer Hoppe from Moms Demand Action in studio with us this morning. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
I'm sorry it's an event like this that brings us together again. But I remember talking after Sandy Hook, and everybody said, maybe this is the time that we'll finally come to our senses on guns. It didn't happen after Sandy Hook. Is San Bernardino the time?
Well, Let me just say it didn't happen at the federal level, but we have been making great progress in the states. We've closed the background check loophole in 6 states since the Sandy Hook tragedy. We've beaten back just this year over 60 of the gun lobby's priority bills in the states, things like permitless concealed carry, things like allowing guns in K through 12 schools. We've actually passed domestic laws to keep guns away from domestic abusers in red states as well as blue states. So there has been progress. That said, we have not seen progress at the federal level, and we had a really shameful vote, I think, last week where 50 senators voted against closing a loophole that currently today allows suspected terrorists to buy guns legally in the U.S., as well as they voted against closing the private sale loophole that allows dangerous people, felons, domestic abusers, etc., to buy guns without a background check.
Let's talk about each of those. And I mean, 3 things have been mentioned as things that you would think Congress could, that makes so much sense that Congress could do even on a bipartisan level. Let's start with the no-fly list, right? Mm-hmm. Jamie, can we get the first Marco Rubio bite on the no-fly list?
Because the majority of the people on the no-fly list are oftentimes people that basically just have the same name as somebody else who don't belong on the no-fly list. Former Senator Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, once said he was on a no-fly list.
No. Does Rubio nobody's? So that's the argument. We have to allow people who are not allowed to fly on a plane. We have to allow them to buy an assault weapon because, according to Marco Rubio, the majority of people on that list don't belong on the list. Does he know what he's talking about?
I can't comment on what the senator knows or doesn't know, but it seems pretty common sense to me that if the government considers someone too dangerous to fly on an airplane, they are probably too dangerous to have an assault rifle or any kind of gun for that matter.
Bingo. I mean, I think that makes total sense. I find it impossible to make an argument like that. And I think Marco Rubio's, I'll say it, I think he's just lying. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I'd love to see his proof that the majority of people on that. Sure, there were some people who ended up there, like Teddy Kennedy. We all laughed about that 20 years ago, or maybe not that, 10 years ago, whatever. But, and they got him off the list. Fix the problem. Don't allow the suspected terrorists to buy assault weapons. So that one, it would seem to make sense. The background check, according to the Brady Group, 93% of the American people support universal background checks. So whether you're buying a gun online or at a gun show or in a gun shop, you have a serious background check. Why not? Right?
I wish I could tell you. Again, I wish I knew why 50 senators decided to vote against that very common sense measure. But here's the good thing. Now they are on the record. And now we know come November which senators have put our American safety at first and which have decided to put the gun lobby's interest first. Senators like Kelly Ayotte, who says she stands for, Kelly Ayotte of New Hampshire, who says that she stands for supporting our troops and our military, supporting women. But, if you are not voting to close the terror gap, if you're not voting to keep guns out of the hands of domestic abusers, I don't know how you can, it seems like a very dissonant message to me.
And so then the third measure that people talk about is renewing the ban on the assault weapons. Anyway, a lot of people were saying, well, none of these things that gun control advocates are talking about would have prevented what happened in San Bernardino County. Well, they had 2 assault weapons that they should never have had. Now they're banned in California, but they can buy them online, and they were able to do so.
Right. Well, I mean, the primary thing, getting back to this, it's the wrong question to ask what could have stopped X mass shooting, Y mass shooting, Z mass shooting, because the bottom line is 88 Americans die every single day from gun violence.
Right.
So we know that the first thing we can do, I mean, there's a bunch of many options on the table, but the first and most important thing we can do to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people are background checks. Yes, you have strong background checks in California, but guess where you don't have strong background checks yet? Nevada. And it's not like there's a big wall between California and Nevada. It's pretty easy to bring guns across the border, and that's why we're actually pushing for a ballot initiative in Nevada in 2016 to close the background check loophole.
So do you see that and your organization, your focus is mainly on the state and local level and just giving up on Congress?
I wouldn't say giving up on Congress. We'll get there. I mean, we will definitely get there. But the Brady bill took, I believe, 6 votes to pass. We know it's a marathon, not a sprint. So we're not giving up on Congress by any stretch of the imagination. As I said, we are holding people accountable. But while we are, we acknowledge that right now this Congress appears to be broken. So we're taking it to the states, and we're having a lot of success there.
It's Moms Demand Action. That's the website is momsdemandaction.org, where you can find out more about the specific projects and measures that they're supporting, and also lend your assistance at momsdemandaction.org. What do you find in surveys you've done about where the American people are on this issue?
So about 90% of Americans support background checks on all gun sales. 74% of NRA members support background checks on all gun sales. And generally speaking, I mean, the moms that we work with, our movement has grown exponentially over the last 3 years. We stand at about 3 million members right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and we are, we have an influx of members every single day, and particularly in response to horrific tragedies like the ones we've seen in the past month.
So do you think this will be an issue in 2016 in the presidential contest?
I think this will be the issue in the presidential contest for moms. For our moms, we're becoming single-issue voters on this. We're voting like our lives depend on it, because they do. And I should also mention, in addition to going to our website, you may text NOW to 64433. That's the word NOW to 64433. And you can get involved that way as well.
Text NOW. Peter, you got that?
Yep. We'll tweet that out at BP Show. Make sure you're following us. We'll get that out there.
I'm not sure what that means, but but put it out so people will know what it means, and we'll know what to do. Yeah, I mean, people, we weren't sure what the pivotal issues were going to be in 2016. At first, maybe a year ago, everybody thought Obamacare. It's going to be another election on Obamacare, right? Nobody's talking about Obamacare anymore. Then we thought, maybe, well, immigration's going to replace that. The immigration has kind of faded too. I mean, it's still out there as an issue. And maybe climate change, maybe terrorism, but I think guns could be. It's pretty clear you're either for common sense gun safety measures or you're not, right?
Yeah, and I would add it's pretty difficult to be concerned about climate change or immigration all important issues, right?
Yeah,
but it's pretty hard to be concerned about that when you're not sure if your kid's going to come home from school today, or you're not going to be able to come home from your job. It's a crisis, and we are going to deal with it, and eventually we're going to win.
And you will not be surprised to hear that there are some prominent Americans who have a different point of view. We'll hear from some of them when we come back with Jennifer Hoppe from Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, momsdemandaction.org. We'll be right back.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hey, here we go, friends and neighbors. A little time out here to talk about this Free Speech TV pledge drive. It's our December pledge drive. Your last chance to help free speech and to take advantage of the tax deduction before the end of the year. Heading into the weekend, we encourage you to not to wait any longer, to take advantage of this opportunity to show your support for free speech right now. As I mentioned the other day, no more Mr. Nice Guy just telling you how much we love you and how much we know you love us, and therefore you're going to help us. No. I told you I was going to get a little tougher. In fact, it came out and said, come on, make your pledge, damn it. And guess what? It worked. We had the biggest day we had so far just because I used the damn it phrase. So let's try it again, all right? Let's be a little tougher. Stop farting around. Yeah, come on, get off your ass and make your pledge, damn it, and do it today. We need your help. Seriously, look, we wouldn't even be doing this pledge drive. We wouldn't even be asking for your help if it weren't important. You know about Free Speech TV. It is such a rare national treasure, and I'm so proud to be part of it. It is the only independent, the only progressive, the only totally freewheeling, the only non-corporate media out there on television that you can enjoy 24/7 with such great hosts and great information and great opportunity to get your voices out there. And if that's what you want and that's what you appreciate, then please show your appreciation by helping us as much as you can. Any pledge is valuable. Any pledge we appreciate. Any pledge helps keeps us going. We just ask you to be as generous as you can. And you do your share. We'll do our share by sending you some wonderful little gifts to accompany your pledge. If you can just help us with $30, a pledge for $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60, that's $5 a month. Come on, a Free Speech TV calendar with a photograph for every month of one of your favorite Free Speech TV hosts, including yours truly. $120, $10 a month for Bill Press Show pint glasses. You can sip while you watch. For $240, a little package put together for the Women's Bean Project, a contribution to that great project, like a little can of soup and a bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a cow press scarf like this one that's just $30 a month. Some of you have already done this. I've heard from some of you, and so excited to get a Carol Press scarf for that $360 pledge. For $1,000, you get yourself to Washington early in 2016. Carol and I will take you out to dinner and come on in the next morning and meet our whole team here. Make your pledge today, again, as generously as you can to 877-378-8669 or go online to freespeech.org. Again, thank you for your help. Happy holidays.
The most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
13 minutes before the top of the hour, President Obama telling the nation last night we have to continue and, in fact, step up our war against ISIS. We also have to step up and take our responsibility to do something about the easy access to guns in this country. The two are linked. Jennifer Hoppe is here with us from Moms Demand Action for gun sense in America. Jennifer, let's say hello to Steve calling from out in Madison, Wisconsin, 92.1 The Mic. Hello, Steve.
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
My point is, you compare with the strict constructionalists as far as the Second Amendment's concerned. Back in Jefferson's day, a cannon was a weapon of mass slaughter, yet it would never been allowed for somebody to have a cannon in their backyard, in every backyard. Yet now we willingly sell weapons of mass slaughter to citizens, and it just doesn't make sense when you compare the two.
It's an excellent point, Steve. And by the way, it takes a lot longer to reload a cannon for that second shot, right, than it does for these automatic weapons or semi-automatic weapons. I mean, there's just the idea, Jennifer, that the Second Amendment has been stretched to read any gun, anybody, anytime, anywhere.
That's how the gun lobby would like it to read, but the fact of the matter is the Supreme Court said that the right to bear arms is not an unlimited right. It's not an unfettered right. That's what the gun lobby is pushing for. They want it to be acceptable for anyone to have a gun anytime, anywhere, and we're pushing back against that.
What impact did you think that the New York Times editorial on Saturday, the first time since 1920 the New York Times has put an editorial on its front page, an editorial, again, calling for common sense measures to limit easy access to guns?
I think
powerful.
It was extremely powerful, and I was very happy to see it, as were, I think, all of our supporters. It's a recognition of the fact that we are in a crisis, and the worst thing to do right now is to be silent. Silence is at this point equal to complicity. So the fact that the New York Times took that step, I think, is wonderful. And I would encourage everyone listening, please to get involved. Visit momsdemandaction.org or text now to 64433.
And, of course, Ted Cruz condemned the editorial, saying that the New York Times was supporting disarming America, right? That this was a call to disarm America. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere in the editorial, either in the words or between the lines.
Or in the work of your organization.
No, we have
right?
gun owners, many gun owners in our membership. We are not anti-gun at all. That's the way the opposition would like to paint us. But the fact of the matter is, we have many moms who are gun owners themselves. We support the Second Amendment. We support responsible gun ownership. We are on the same page with most gun owners about these issues.
In the eyes of a lot of Republicans, Obama has pivoted to move to take guns from people a couple of times in this presidency, and yet here we are. No play has been made for your guns. Nobody's coming for your guns. It's a really easy argument to throw out there, but we've never seen it happen.
Yeah, and of course the other argument to throw out there, we knew this was coming, and I guess we could guess that this would come from Donald Trump. That the answer to San Bernardino was, here's Donald Trump. If only everybody at that lunch had a gun.
If you look at what happened in California, they didn't have guns, they were slaughtered. So I think it would have been a lot better if they had guns in that room, somebody to protect. They could have protected themselves if they had guns.
That's the answer, isn't it? Just give everybody a gun. 200 people in the room, everybody have a gun. 200 people in a movie theater, everybody's got a gun, right? In a restaurant, everybody's got a gun. That's the answer.
And, there are so many guns in circulation in the U.S. If more guns were the answer, America would be the safest country in the world, and that's just not the case.
That sums it up, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes the air out of just about every argument that you throw about more guns makes people more safe.
Yeah. I mean, do you know how many guns do we have in circulation?
I don't have that number offhand, but it's a huge number.
Particularly when you compare, and President Obama made this comment not last night, but the time before when he spoke on this, right after San Bernardino. I think that his comments to Norah O'Donnell, he made the point that no other civilized nation on the planet has this sequence of mass murders that we have by guns in this country, right?
And it's not just mass murders; it's the daily toll of gun violence.
You've made it.
Americans are 20 times more likely to be murdered with a gun than citizens in any other developed country in the world.
When you hear that, and Peter, I gave these numbers last week. Right after San Bernardino, I think it was 354 mass murders by that date. That was the 354th. I may be off one or two there, and there had only been 331 days in the year. So it was like there were more mass murders than there were days in the year in 2015, and mass murder defined as at least 4 people killed or wounded by gunfire. Yeah.
Right. So I think there's...
And that's on top of, I come back to the point you've made a couple of times, 88 a day.
Exactly. And I think that number, I think, is counts people injured and killed. Mm-hmm. But it's, potato, right? It's horrific. And we need to rein it in. And the thing is, the worst thing to do is to throw up your hands and say, there's nothing we can do about it. This is a fact of American life. It is not a fact of American life. We can push back. We can hold legislators accountable. We can call Congress. We can work in the states. We can get involved at the local level. We can do it. We just need to do it.
Yep, and that's what Moms Demand Action is doing. And thank God that you are there. Yeah, I think you really are making an impact. I think this is the moment. I really do. MomsDemandAction.org. Check it out. Jennifer, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Follow us up.
Hey, friends, a little time out here to talk about Free Speech TV. You know what they say. You've heard me say it before. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and there's no such thing as Free Speech TV either. Well, yes, there is. I mean, it is free to you, and what a deal. What a great deal every day, 24/7. The best progressive programming you can find anywhere, with starting out with our show and Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and all the rest, Amy Goodman. And all of that coming out to you with the only progressive TV channel in this country that you can depend on day in and day out to bring you the news of the day and the progressive slant on the news of the day and give you a chance to express your opinions. Yes, all of that is free to you, but of course, you know, it costs to get that out, to get us out to you, for us to join you every day, and that's where we depend on your help. And again, ask for your help at this time of the year. I told you before, and it's true, we just could not do it without you. Free Speech TV gets no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money. We don't charge guests to be on the show. We don't charge anybody to be on the show. We just depend entirely on you. You are part of the team, and the important part of the team that keep us together every single day. So once again, at this time of the year, whether it's your Merry Christmas gift or your Happy Hanukkah gift, or just, make a tax-free contribution at the end of the year to lower your taxes kind of gift, whatever your motive, we hope it's just because you love all of us and you love this programming, and when you want to help it keep going. As a little incentive for you to dig in and help us with this December pledge drive, we want to suggest that for $30, you will get a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. We'll send out to you. For $60, Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all of your favorite hosts. For $120, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, a special charity to the Women's Bean Project, and you will get that calendar, a soup and a cornbread bundle, and 2 Bill Press Show pint glasses, a nice little package. Plus, part of that $240 will also go to Feeding America Project, the Women's Bean Project. For $360, a beautiful hand-woven Carol Press scarf. You know, I wear one, and so does President Clinton, by the way. And for $1,000, you get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will have a good time. We'll take you out to dinner. One of our favorite restaurants on the Hill, and you can come in the next morning here and meet all of our team. So please, help us as much as you can. Try to make $1,500 every day here on the Bill Press Show. Give us a call at 877-378-8669 and make your pledge, or just go online to freespeech.org, and let's keep this great partnership going. Thank you.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Paul Singer from USA Today joining us at the top of the next hour, and then Ben Schreckinger will be here from Politico. President Obama, pretty light schedule today. He gets a daily briefing this morning at 10 o'clock. And then this evening, he and the First Lady will be hosting all the members of Congress and their guests for the Congressional Ball, the holiday Congressional Ball at the White House. I guess he's resting up for the Congressional Ball tonight.
Gotta be.
Get his dance moves down. We will have our briefing today with Josh Earnest at 1:30 this afternoon. Back with Paul Singer from USA Today.
This is the Bill Press Show.
I'm a Pistons fan. Their slogan was, "We come to work." That's what Detroit about. That's why they used it. It's a team thing. They won 2 championships, a team. There was no star. No mayor can come in here and be a star. It's a team thing. No governors can come in here and think you can do it by yourself. It's a team thing. You got communities. They got ideas, too. The only thing wrong with Detroit, people had lost hope here. Residents, city workers, so much corruption. They lose hope. But I grew up here. I love this city. I think it can come back. Been working for the city 24 and a half years. Within the last 10 years, we took 4 pay cuts and then an additional 10% wage cut. I've lost a home.
When you take all of the decisions out of the city of Detroit, all of us, then what do you have? Exactly what we got, a lot of problems. Every time the city seems to fall into a problem, it's always on the backs of us workers.
You wake up out of a dead sleep and you jump behind the wheel and take off driving and try to get everybody there safe, not knowing really what you're pulling up to. I'm not eligible for Social Security, so the pension is my sole salary at this point.
We've been in business here 39 years. We've seen a lot of changes in Detroit. The area was a lot of industry, a lot of city workers. It's getting very tough for the city workers. It's getting tough for us as a business people.
Response times are increasing because of the closing of companies, which takes your insurance rate through the roof. So all the things that affect us affect the citizens.
I worked for the city in different capacities for 29 years. I feel like an old jacket. They use me up and they throw me away. In my condition, nobody's gonna hire me. I'm 68 years old. Half the times, I can't get my blood pressure medicine. It's either feeding myself blood pressure or paying bills.
$754. By the time they take all the deductions for I have my car insurance, my house insurance, and my health insurance taken out. So the time they take all that, I'll get about $300 after they take all that out. I don't understand it. I can't see how the governor is allowing this to happen and what they're doing and they want to blame it all on the seniors. Not only the seniors, but the city workers. And we worked hard. I know I worked hard.
I've been in Detroit since 1946. I was 14 years old when I came in. I don't live large at all. I wish I could. I don't know when the last time I've been shopping. I only get $1,100, and I'm 81 years old, and I need every penny that I can get and that I do get. And I'm very, very upset about the idea of them taking away my pensions that I worked 30 years for.
I think it's terrible that they talk about Detroit like they do, because Detroit has been very good to me.
I have a lot of city workers coming in with their uniforms on, Detroit Water Department, Police Department, Fire Department. I get a lot of people, the Border Patrol come in. So if I lose that customer base, I'm going to be in a position where I might have to close down. If they take away their pensions, if they start cutting jobs, it's going to cut into a large percentage of not only our business, but other businesses that are in the city of Detroit. We're here. We've been here for 26 years. We're still trying to do business in the city.
Detroiters are survivors. They tough, they adapt, but only can do so much when your politicians are ahead of you and we're not on the same team. We're not gonna let Detroit be erased, bulldozed, or whatever. We're gonna fight to the bitter end. Detroit gonna survive.
Just this month, my bill was like $138.
Even at one phone call a week cost me $40 to $50 every month.
I am living on a fixed income of SSI, so this is really a great hardship. Families are being punished. When they incarcerate your children, they incarcerate the whole family.
In 2011, the Media Action Grassroots Network, Working Narratives, and Prison Legal News founded the Campaign for Prison Phone Justice, an effort to call on the FCC to address the cost of interstate phone calls. The campaign mobilized prisoners to send hundreds of letters. Advocates and families filled out postcards, met with elected officials, and signed petitions. Partnerships were formed across the political spectrum and with groups in the criminal justice, civil rights, and public interest community. The film distribution company Participant Media and director Ava DuVernay joined the fight through a social action campaign tied to the release of the feature film Middle of Nowhere. In an effort to push the FCC to act, the campaign hosted a historic rally outside of the Federal Communications Commission where for the first time, families of prisoners, elected officials, civil rights and faith leaders came together to call for an end to predatory phone rates.
We're all held captive when predatory phone companies gouge our families.
My son has been incarcerated now for over 10 years, and my husband estimates that in the time we spent over $25,000 on prison phone calls.
My hero's not yours, you probably arrested them. Your schools probably neglected them. They spawn thoughts, you probably infected them. Feed us what you feed us, you can lay us next to them. FBI call it major crimes. Babies making babies cry.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Yes, terrorism is a serious threat, the president told the nation last night, but we will prevail. Hey, hello, everybody. Here we go on a Monday, December 7th. Great to see you today. Hope you had a good weekend. Ready to dive headlong into the news of the day today. We'll tell you what's going on, and you tell us what you think about it all. Hope you had a good weekend. We are ready to bring you up to date here coming to you live from our nation's capital and our studio on Capitol Hill. Just down the street from the Capitol building where Paul Singer works for USA Today, keeping his eye on Congress, and he's here this morning to tell us all about it. Hello, Paul. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Bill. How you doing?
Thanks for coming in. And joining our team here, Peter Ogburn and Jamie Benson.
Here we are.
Good morning.
Everybody back. First time we've had the whole team together for...
It's been a minute. It has been a minute.
Probably a couple of weeks.
It actually is, with the Thanksgiving holiday.
Before Thanksgiving, so everybody's here. All right. We came in for Paul.
Exactly.
Right, because, the grand welcoming committee.
Ray Rogers on the job to take your calls at 866-55-PRESS. That's our toll-free number. And Cyprian Bolding, we're looking at you thanks to Cyprian, our videographer. Paul, there have been many voices in the wake of San Bernardino talking about what we ought to do or not do, about the easy accessibility to guns in this country.
Indeed.
Jerry Falwell, son of the late, great Jerry Falwell, who is now the head of Liberty University, his idea was, and he's talking to this... they have these convocations down there where the students have to attend.
Come. Yeah, right.
But like when Bernie Sanders went down, it was one of those, right? And I forget. I think
Ted Cruz
announced at one of these convocations.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
So President Falwell was speaking to one just at the end of the week, and he used the occasion. Here's what in San Bernardino tells him that every student there ought to go out and get a carry and concealed permit.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to encourage all of you to get your permit. We offer a free course, and let's teach them a lesson if they ever show up here. So.
Listen to that crowd, the kids there, yeah, right.
I mean, there are two different philosophies on this, Bill, and one is there are too many guns and we're at risk, and the other is that there's not enough guns and we're at risk. Yeah. And one way or the other, it's either going to become a shooting gallery or Norway. We'll see.
Yeah, we either have we already have more guns than probably per capita than any other civilized nation on the planet, right? But what we need. Falwell's answer and Donald Trump's response and Ted Cruz is even more. Yeah, that's it for every university in the country, right?
That's the plan, man.
That's the plan, right? You apply for a university, you get accepted, and then you have to get your gun.
Okay, but let me argue with you for 10 seconds here.
No.
Okay. No, just let me tell you. So if theaters are going to become new targets, or any kind of collection of people, more than 30 people gathered at once, which is where Jesus is supposed to be, but instead now we're getting these shooters showing up, right? Yeah. Do you armed security guard at every movie theater, electronic mags? Even if you ban guns now, there's still 300 million of them lying around the country already. So how do you protect, unless you have an armed guard in every gathering of 20 people? And their argument is, well, you can't do that, so you might as well arm the people in the room. Mm-hmm. I understand the rationale. Okay, it's not absurd. But I also don't see how you do it without just having a hail of bullets.
Well, I think there are measures you could take, and this is a long conversation.
Okay.
But there have been buyback programs in other countries which have worked very effectively, and you ban assault weapons, and I would even say you take the existing assault weapons away, or at least you give an opportunity for people to turn them in.
And this is where you get to where Congress. This is why Congress is paralyzed.
Yeah. No, I think Congress is paralyzed for more reasons than that. But that's what we want to talk to you about on this issue, right? With Paul here for the first half hour, and then Ben Schreckinger from Politico coming up at the half. But first, we always have to let you.
This is the Full Court Press.
He wouldn't dare start with us.
Thank you very much. I'll walk out if I don't. Just a couple of other stories making news. Tomorrow night, it's going to be a big night for Jimmy Fallon. He's going to be welcoming Bernie Sanders onto the show. Now, Bernie hasn't done a whole lot of late-night stuff, right? You don't see him doing the late-night circuit. So this is his first big appearance. Again, that's tomorrow night on Jimmy Fallon. So tune in.
Yeah, I can't wait for Bernie to host Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep waiting for that, yeah. MSNBC announced late yesterday that they have their new 6 p.m. show. It's going to be the one that replaces the Reverend Al Sharpton. It is going to be a simulcast of Bloomberg Television's With All Due Respect. That is the show hosted by Mark Halperin and John Heilemann. It will continue to be shown at 5 p.m. on Bloomberg, actually, and then they're going to show it at 6 p.m. on MSNBC. So those are your new hosts.
Lots of luck. I've only saw the show once. It was the most boring show I ever saw on television.
It's not a good show. And I got to imagine the morale at MSNBC is.
John Heilman's there right now on Morning Joe. He does a good job there. But the two of them together, there's not a lot of fire, not a lot of energy.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. And I did a list earlier, right? End of the year list, 2015. I did the top baby names earlier. Now I'm going to do the top 10.
The end of December is always lists.
Oh, this is great for me, man. I just kick back and let them roll in and do it right here in this segment.
He's doing the top 10 list of lists.
I'm going to have one by the end of the year. Top 10 apps. Top 10 apps of 2015. Apps that you have on your phone or your iPad or your Android or whatever you have.
You don't mind. Go ahead.
I know what's number one.
Uh-huh.
I know what's number one.
Do you? Okay. Bill, what's your guess?
Waze.
Waze is not in the top 10.
Oh, well, then the people are just
It's a bad list.
People are just
I know how much you love Waze.
The USA Today app?
The USA Today app, I'm sorry, is not on there. Number one is HBO Now.
No way.
HBO Now is number one.
Is this iPads too?
Yeah, this is iPad. This is just across the board digitally.
Yeah.
HBO Now. Number two, Jamie, you'll like this. Snapchat is number two.
Is Tinder on there?
Tinder is not on there, which I
that
think
was my
is
guess.
surprising. And Starbucks mobile ordering is number three. You just order your drink at Starbucks and walk over and get it.
Right.
So I'll tweet out the whole list if you want to see what on. There's some interesting things there I didn't even know about.
Waze should be on the list. WAZE. Download it. It's free. Never get lost again.
I agree.
Anywhere in the world, as I discovered. I used it in Spain.
Really?
To get to France.
And
a
it
town
had
in France.
No troubles.
Waze. My iPhone in Spain. No troubles. And it was in English, and they gave the distance in miles. I don't know why, because everything's in kilometers, but...
And you are not a paid endorser. This is just a good...
Yeah, no, they don't sponsor
I like it. Hey, man, why not?
That's crazy. All right, let's get back to guns for a second, because the Senate had a chance, and the president challenged Congress to act last night in his talk from the Oval Office. President challenged Congress, particularly on the no-fly list. They voted on this last week.
Right, yeah.
Voted it down.
They did vote it down.
Is it going to change?
Yeah, no. The issue with the no-fly list seems simple. right? That there is this no-fly list, a terrorist watch list, as it were, and Congress should not allow those people to have guns if you're on that no-fly list. That's the simplest version of the issue. Of course, that would not have stopped, I think, any of these people from getting guns in the San Bernardino case. It's not.
Correct.
It's not directly related.
No, the ban on assault weapons may have.
Right.
Right.
But,
That's a different. But not this.
But not this. But it still seems like a pretty reasonable, common sense idea. I can't agree on that. What can you agree on? Well, of course, the immediate reaction, the sort of Second Amendment purist reaction is, oh, well, the problem is that list is not assembled by any kind of judicial panel or anything. It's just put together by, the FBI or whoever the, intelligence agencies are. So therefore, there's no due process, and you are giving up your Second Amendment rights despite not having an ability to challenge it. So the Senate voted it down. Now, the Republicans in the Senate offered a version.
I love that. I love that argument. Right. Oh, this list is only made up by the people who are being paid to keep us safe, and whom we depend on, and whom we would be the first ones to blame if anything ever happened and they missed it. Now they're doing their job,
but we can't enforce it.
Because they're doing their job, we're going to vote against it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
And again, it's so the Senate Republicans offered a version of the amendment. It's kind of a zombie amendment they offer. Like, it's a dead thing that they know no one will vote for, but they offered to say they could.
Yeah.
They offered a version of the amendment that was like, well, there'll be a judicial proceeding of some point to decide whether or not you get on the list or get off the list, but we'll make it easier for people to get off the list and a whole bunch of other things. That didn't go anywhere either. So, I mean, ultimately, at this point, there is no upside for any Republican to vote for one of these things. There's no upside for the Republicans.
You know what? I would hope. I think you're right. I just hope there's a downside for every one of them. I hope the downside is they get their ass thrown out of office, and that's what it's going to take.
That's what it's going to take, and I don't see it happening. In the House, of course, the districts have been sort of gerrymandered in such a way they have very little. Their biggest threat is a challenge in the primary from the right, and that comes when the minute they say anything other than "I sleep with my gun."
Right. The other thing, the president. So nothing's going to happen on guns at the federal level. Certainly. Until I don't know when, but I agree with you on that. The president also challenged Congress to say, if you really are serious about ISIS and you really think we ought to be doing everything we can about ISIS, then you ought to authorize the use of military force against ISIS. That's hard to make an argument against that, particularly when these people have sued President Obama for, they think, abusing his executive authority. Now they're basically saying, we will give you all the executive authority you want.
Well, that's it. That's the issue here is again, for the Republicans, what is the political upside of passing a resolution that tells the President of the United States, go ahead and do whatever you need to do, because these are people who essentially don't trust Barack Obama.
Maybe it boils down to just doing their job under the Constitution.
Well, you could make the argument that in fact it is their obligation to do this.
It is. It's right. I mean,
but whether it is the Constitution.
But they're just playing games with it. But aren't they really exposing themselves? How can they say that they are really tough on terrorism, right, or tough on ISIS, when they will not vote, not even debate, whether or not we should be at war against ISIS?
And you, in some ways, agree with some of the most conservative members of Congress. Some of the most conservative members of Congress are arguing the exact same thing you are, is that this needs to be governed and regulated by Congress. Congress needs to own this battle.
I've always said, I don't care who the president is, the president does not have and should not have the authority to take us into war or freewheeling. And I think the old AUMF, which President Obama argues he still has authority under the September 11 AUMF, I think that's a bogus argument. I'd love to see that challenged in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I think that time has run out because Al-Qaeda, we're no
longer fighting Al-Qaeda.
We're no longer fighting Al-Qaeda.
That's right. It's also interesting because there's this whole conversation about the Republican agenda right now or the talking point right now is we don't have a strategy. The president hasn't laid out a comprehensive strategy, which I'm not sure I understand that argument, honestly, because, I mean, if you heard, last night's speech, we're going to bomb a little more. We're going to support and train the on-the-ground fighters from the various countries in Iraq and in Syria. Hopefully, we're going to stand up a force of an Arab fighting force. We're going to reach out to, Muslim communities here and around the world to try and, build peaceful communities. It starts to sound like a strategy.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what else he needs to do to sort of say.
Yeah, France has stepped up its attacks. England has stepped up its airstrikes. Russia, to the extent that we're on the same team.
What time is it? wait, is it? Yeah. So far today.
Yeah. I mean, there is a strategy.
There is a strategy emerging here, right? And I'm not sure exactly what it means to say that Congress is going to demand more of a strategy. Like, what do you want? A written document, a playbook? What do you want?
But
exactly?
the AUMF. If we don't see anything happening in guns, do you see any movement on that front?
I don't think soon. I mean, again, Congress is only here for 3.5 more days in theory, which is actually going to be 10.5 more days. I don't see they get that moving now. It's possible we come back in January and do it.
Yeah, but this is one, again, you would think, where liberals certainly want it because they would like to vote against it. You know, conservatives want it because they don't want the president to have too much power, particularly this president. And yet, for all of them, for different reasons, I think they're neglecting their duty, and they're willing to just look the other way and say, okay, Obama, just keep doing it.
But remember, this also came up. There was a Syria one a couple of years ago, I guess it was now, when Obama wanted to go to Congress to get approval for bombing in Syria, and the whole thing sort of cratered in the Senate, and it became just an embarrassing mess for everybody. They want to avoid that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that again. You have to actually have a path to actually bring the bill up and vote on the bill and, in theory, pass the bill. God forbid they say no, then what happens?
USA Today. We got the trio here from USA Today. It's David Jackson and Susan Page and Paul Singer, man.
You got the smart ones and then me? Outstanding.
All good friends of the program. It's Paul's turn today.
You're the only one we'll allow in studio.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And we also have a new Speaker of the House. How's he doing? We'll find out from Paul Singer when we come back.
Get social with Bill Press. Like us at facebook.com/Bill Press Show. This is the Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. We've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman, everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today, the only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, $20 a month, a great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
This is the Bill Press Show.
All right, 26 minutes after the hour, Ben Schreckinger from Politico joins us at the half hour. Paul Singer here right now from USA Today. Other than growing a beard, his hunter's beard, what else is different about Paul Ryan?
Well, one of the things that's different is he has made a major effort to reach out to the conservatives in the House who really basically sandbagged John Boehner out of office. And the response there we've gotten is that it's been a good conversation. Ryan has offered let them offer a bunch of amendments on the floor of the House. They're excited about that. The highway bill, they voted on, I don't know, some 300 or 400 amendments and what we call regular order. People were excited about that. It's been a nice little honeymoon period for Paul Ryan, and I think he's gotten good reviews. They got the highway
bill
done.
Passed. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I mean, credit him on some of these things. Now, the issue is Friday is our budget deadline.
This coming Friday.
Yeah. We have to have an appropriations bill passed for the entire U.S. government, and you heard it here first. We will not have it done by Friday.
Has it ever been done on time?
No, but remember, this is on time, right? This is already 3.5 months late.
Yeah. All right.
No, so they'll probably miss the Friday deadline, have to kick it down the road. So this is where Paul Ryan really has to make some very difficult decisions. What provisions do you force onto the president's desk? Do you force a cut in Planned Parenthood spending? Do you force a cut in spending for Syrian refugees? Do you force a cut for Obamacare? Any of these things, they're all in the spending bill. And there are going to be some issues the president is willing to accept, and we won't go to a government shutdown. And there are some he will not be willing to accept, and we will face a government shutdown. And that is what Paul Ryan now has to navigate.
And the president does not have the option of blue penciling out something he disagrees with.
We do not have a line item veto in this country. But in this bill, and if you ever read these things, the appropriations bills, there are hundreds of these paragraphs that say none of the funds shall be used for, and it could be like none of the funds shall be used for the Bill Press Show, whatever.
Right.
But there's hundreds of them, and you have to go see what everyone is and who you're going to make mad.
That's why you are where you are, and that's why I am where I don't want to have to read the damn thing. But
if they defund the Bill Press Show, I'll let you know.
All right, good. Paul Singer, thanks so much for coming in, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save Free Speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep Free Speech TV going. You know, we've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman, everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today, the only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of Free Speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30, we'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, $20 a month, a great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Maybe not as loud as Donald Trump, but he's a hell of a lot smarter. This is your progressive headquarters for the 2016 election, The Bill Press Show.
All right, 33 minutes after the hour, campaign headquarters, and that's a good time to welcome to the program man who's been out on the trail, particularly covering Donald Trump and some of the other Republican candidates. Ben Schreckinger, political reporter for Politico, in studio with us this half hour. Hello, Ben. Nice to see you.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you.
Welcome back. You were out, and it's 56 days before the Iowa caucuses.
And we're all counting down.
I can't believe it's that close. That's awfully close.
I know, right. So just coming back from Iowa, you were there just a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah, I got back last night.
Last night. All right. Are people in Iowa sick of this thing? Or are they enjoying all of these candidates running around?
Oh, no, they love it. They do it every 4 years. I mean, what they're concerned about is that it's going to stop happening. You know, what?
Oh, at some point, you mean the candidates go to New Hampshire?
More that in future cycles, Iowa won't be number one. There's fear that Hillary Clinton would do that with the Democratic caucus. Donald Trump was sort of stoking fears of that on Saturday, assuring his rally attendees that if he were president, Iowa would be a sacred cow. It would never get moved. They like their position.
Right. How Donald Trump, the last poll that I showed, he's still number one in Iowa, right?
Yes.
With a comfortable lead?
Yes, in polling, yes.
Okay. And does he have a ground operation? What did you see that's going to get people, his supporters, out to the caucuses?
He does. He does have a ground operation. He does have his surrogates before he speaks in caucus states sort of tell people they really need to get out there and caucus. Trump was saying it.
Move this microphone just a little bit so I can see you.
Got it.
All right, there you go. Yeah.
He has his Iowa State Director is a man named Chuck Laudner who worked for Santorum last time. Santorum won. They're holding classes for their supporters, teaching them how to caucus. There is a ground game. Ted Cruz's is probably better. Ted Cruz is winning sort of in the important endorsements in Iowa. But it's a really open and fascinating question whether Trump's people will show up and caucus, and they may well do it.
What is Trump's message?
His message right now, especially since Paris, is I am strong. I will protect you. There are threats in the world. We are all in this together. We have to be careful. We have to be vigilant, and we have to expel and destroy the many threats to the American people.
And I heard him say something along the lines of, the worse news there is, the better I do, right?
Yes, and that's almost an exact quote. And he made fun of people who said that after these Paris attacks, he'd go down. There was initially a strain of thinking that people would start getting serious. In fact, the opposite has happened. He has gone back up to his peak since Paris, whereas Ben Carson, who was tied with him at the time, is now languishing, and in the latest CNN polls, is actually in third place behind Ted Cruz.
And Trump also has an interesting take, maybe a predictable take, on the issue of guns. Jamie, here is Donald Trump saying his answer to what happened in San Bernardino.
If you look at what happened in California, they didn't have guns, they were slaughtered. So I think it would have been a lot better if they had guns in that room, somebody to protect. They could have protected themselves if they had guns.
Just if all those healthcare workers for San Bernardino County had walked in with their AR-15s and put them on the table, right, at the luncheon?
It's a common argument after these mass shootings from the right. I'd love to see studies on this if there are any. I don't know what the current state of research is, but that argument is never going to hurt Donald Trump with the Republican primary electorate. It's the right call politically, at least.
So does he last beyond Iowa?
Yes, I think so. I think that there's a very good chance that Ted Cruz wins Iowa. Some people might tell you that the smart money's on him in Iowa right now.
Not Trump, but Ted Cruz.
Right. They're close in the polls, but Cruz's ground game is phenomenal, and he's locking up a lot of endorsements. So many people think that Iowa will break to him. Who knows? But even if Trump loses Iowa, he's way ahead in New Hampshire. He's way ahead in South Carolina. And he doesn't spend much money on this campaign. He can go the distance. A lot of people think that Cruz, Rubio, and Trump may drag this on into May, perhaps to the convention.
Isn't it strange, Peter, when you think about it? Okay, if Republicans are saying, well, Trump is a little too crazy for me, right? I kind of like him, but I just don't think I could trust somebody who's that whatever. So let's go for Ted Cruz instead. I mean, it's not a big leap, is it? I mean, you're not saying let's go for somebody safe like a Jeb Bush or a Chris Christie or somebody with experience, right?
I mean, Ted Cruz is awfully extreme. I know that we look at Donald Trump and we think he's extreme, and
he's not as extreme
in a lot of ways.
I would say, Ben, wouldn't you?
Right. Ideologically, Trump is sort of all over the map, and if he were the nominee, would run straight to the middle, I think. Whereas Cruz is ideological and unwavering.
Pure.
Yes, pure.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a question, I don't know if there are voters who are looking at Trump and Cruz that way and choosing between them in that way. I think that if people feel uncomfortable with Trump for what you said, the sort of crazy shoots from the hip kind of thing, they may be looking more at a Bush or a Rubio or a Christie instead.
I would expect that. That's why I'm just surprised that the alternative becomes a Cruz, right?
Yeah, and it's a good question because the overlap between Cruz and Trump is significant, which is interesting too, just because Trump is not an ideologue. Cruz is, but I think for sort of reasons of attitude and disposition, a lot of people sort of look at both of them together and like both of them.
Is Trump raising any money? Does he have to raise any money? I mean, is he knocking on? Has he spent time with Sheldon Adelson or with the Koch brothers? All these people trying to get their support, or he doesn't need it and doesn't care?
That's a great question. We actually, along with my colleague Ken Vogel, a few weeks ago,
Ken's the best on this stuff. He knows the money.
Oh yeah. And so he and I, mostly he, discovered that Trump had courted Sheldon Adelson, arranged a phone call before his run, or perhaps in early summer, mentioned, hey, my daughter's Jewish. I'm from New York. There are many Jewish people here. I love Israel. I filmed an ad for BB. Did not end up. He was supposed to meet with Sheldon in person. It didn't happen. He is certainly not getting Adelson's support, or that of the Koch brothers, or that of Paul Singer, who his camp also tried to make inroads with. And so since then...
I just want to point out, you're not talking about the Paul Singer who was just in the studio with us from USA Today for the last half hour. This is a different Paul Singer. I just want to make sure everybody understands.
Right, billionaire, big Republican donor, hedge fund manager in New York.
Now with Rubio, right?
Now with Rubio. And so Trump's been ripping into these people. Trump does get a lot of small dollar donations unsolicited. He's loaned a little less than $2 million to his campaign. He describes himself as self-funding. In fact, he's donating very little money. And he raised about $4 million, a little less than $4 million from donors last quarter. And that's enough for his campaign because he doesn't spend much money.
But his plane costs a lot of money. He's got his own plane. He's got an entourage that travels with him.
That's one of his biggest expenses. But that's, I think, about $500,000 a quarter. And if he's raising $4 million, there's still, $3 left over for him for other things.
Yeah. I mean, so I think that's part of his appeal, that people know that he's so rich. He doesn't have to depend on these sugar daddies.
And if you talk to his supporters, that's absolutely one of the first 1 or 2 or 3 things that they mention in terms of why they're supporting him. What's interesting is that he's not quite self-funding. He's loaned the campaign a lot of money. He could pay it back at any time.
Right.
He hasn't bought TV yet. He makes the sort of argument that you can't totally disagree with, which is that I'm winning. Why would I spend millions of dollars on TV?
Yeah. No, with all the free TV he gets, why buy any TV?
One of the real outstanding
he can get
questions.
on any show he wants, and usually it's by phone even.
Yes. He breaks the rules. He doesn't come into the studio for the Sunday shows.
Yeah.
There's a real question of whether...
That's why he hasn't been on our show, because we told him, no, you get your ass in the studio, or else you're just not going to be over.
That's
not going to take any phone call.
No. That's a real standoff there. I don't know who's going to blink first between you and he.
All right. Now, you've heard I love the story that's up today in Politico about Marco Rubio. We better take a break, but why don't you tell us on the other side? It looks like Marco Rubio has a water problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold it. We'll find out. That'll keep you tuned. Ben Schreckinger here from Politico with the latest on Trump and Rubio and all the rest of those clowns. We'll be right back. Neighbors, a little word about Free Speech TV. It's that time of year. Our December pledge drive, very, very important before the end of the year. Your last chance to get a tax deduction for making a charitable contribution to our nonprofit Free Speech TV, and hope you take advantage of that. Come on, how much do you love us? Show me today. Let's make that $1,500 goal that we've got today. At least 15 of you with a pledge of $100 will put us over the top. And I got to tell you, we've been doing this now for a couple of years now. It's the same with every pledge drive. I always start out really nice, we love you, you love us, show us how much you love us, give us a contribution, help keep Free Speech TV on the air. And you know what? It never works. Same thing, we're off to a slow start again. It seems like the only way that we can get you guys to respond is to get a little testy here. I mean, come on, people, damn it. Show us how much you love us. Look, remember, Free Speech TV is built on this whole principle. It's something never seen before in the American media, okay? I mean, people who founded Free Speech TV figured, okay, if it's really true that you don't like the corporate media, and none of us do, all right, then we'll do something different, right? We won't take any government money, won't take any corporate money, won't take any Koch brothers money. And if you really like that, you will respond by digging in and keeping free speech on the air. So this is something, again, totally new, totally independent, and that's why we can be as progressive as we are 24/7, all of us on Free Speech TV. So you either like that plan, you like that principle, you like that approach, or you don't. And if you do, again, please show it by digging in and making as big a pledge as you can to keep free speech going, keep it on the air. It is so important. We depend entirely on you, and we'll help you with a little prompt maybe to make that pledge today. If you can help us with just $30 a year, we'll give you send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and pen set. For $60 a year, this is $5 a month, a Free Speech TV calendar, pictures of all your favorite hosts on it, $120 pledge, $10 a month, a Bill Press Show, 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $240, something very special, a little bundle put together by the Women's Bean Project, including a contribution to the Bean Project, can of soup and a little bundle of cornbread, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. For $360, a great, great gift for yourself or someone you love, a hand-woven scarf by my wife, Carol Press. And again, for $1,000, the big prize, you get yourself to Washington, you and a guest, Carol and I will take you out to dinner at our treat, and we'll bring you into studio to meet the whole team the next morning. Please help as much as you can. We really, really need it. And do it today. Take advantage of this end-of-the-year opportunity to get your taxes down a little bit by helping Free Speech TV. You know how to do it? Call 877-378-8669 or go to freespeech.org. Make your pledge today as generously as you can, and thank you.
Seen on Free Speech TV and online on TawkrTV. This is the Bill Press Show.
13 minutes before the top of the hour, so look very carefully the next time you see Donald Trump on television. That guy standing right alongside of him, that's probably Ben Schreckinger here from Politico. Actually, Ben, before we move on to Marco Rubio, Mr. Trump got a little pissed off at you this last week, huh?
Yeah.
He didn't like your coverage, and
Donald often lashes out at me either on the stump or in interviews.
By name?
He's with Breitbart Radio, yes, by name, and on the stump by name. This is the first time he's...
That's a badge of honor.
Yeah, you should be proud of that.
What did you do that he didn't like?
Well, this past week, I reported on a variety of reasons that his health may be an issue, and the fact that he's made claims that he's healthy as an ox but hasn't substantiated them. Pointed out that some other candidates have already released medical records and that he has ignored our questions about his medical records. That was last Thursday at about 5 a.m. About 3 hours later, he announced that he would be releasing his medical records soon. The latest is this week. But then a few hours after that, I guess decided he was not happy with me again and tweeted some mean things about me.
About you?
About me. Spelled my name. He missed a letter in Schreckinger. It's a tough one, though. I can't
that's
hold
the
that
oldest
against him.
rule in the book. If you're going to talk smack about me, at least spell my name right.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure, and when he's yelled about me on the stump, he's pronounced Schreckinger correctly, which is tough on its own. So I do give him kudos for that.
He just says, what, you're not being fair to him, or you don't get your facts right, or I'm just curious.
He tweeted, why can't Politico get better reporters than Ben Schreckinger? Guy is a major lightweight with no credibility. So dishonest!
Congratulations.
Point.
Well, yeah, I love the last little twist of the knife that he puts on his tweets are always so funny. So dishonest. Yeah. Bad reporter.
But
do better.
Lightweight is what he has said about Ben Carson, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio.
What he's saying is you should run for
and
president.
Ben Schreckinger. I mean, you're in good company, dude.
Well, yeah. Well, and in the context of his health, I am standing next to Donald Trump, a lightweight. He does, in sort of a literal sense, he has a point there.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Here comes another one.
Yeah.
You better watch out.
Yeah.
All right. So, Marco Rubio, it's not that he's got this water. He sort of has this obsession, right, with getting a drink of water. He can't get through a speech without grabbing the bottle of water.
At least often a preoccupation, and it's something that has popped up throughout his political career. Political observers have noticed it consistently over the years.
I didn't realize, we all remember when he gave the response to the State of the Union, that he lunged for the water bottle, right? Poland water, I think, Poland Springs or whatever, right?
Right.
But after reading your story, he had done this before when he was Speaker of the House in Florida, right?
That's right. And he did. There was a recent New Yorker profile of him where the author asked him about the water thing, and he said, yeah, I don't know, it's allergies. My doctors tell me it's allergies I've developed over the past 4 years because I'm traveling a lot to new places. But the water thing, for lack of a better word, does predate 2011. It predates his tenure in the U.S. Senate, and there's video of him in 2008 in the Florida House having the same issue.
Right. So on the stump, I mean, they always have to have a glass of water right there on the podium for him everywhere he speaks, or a bottle of water. In
general, yes. You know, he makes a lot of stops. There are probably often ones at which they don't arrange for that.
But the campaign has certain rules, right?
At least in one stop, yes. At least from talking to one host of a Marco Rubio event recently, they had very specific rules about not only the availability of water, but what he would drink out of. It had to be a stemless glass.
Oh.
No water bottle, no stemmed glass. That may be in part be about the visual. I think that a lot of candidates probably don't want to look. It may look a little effete to drink out of a stemmed wine glass.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and nobody would believe it was water.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And even a water bottle made it. But you would think that would look that'd be sort of the Joe six-pack look, right? I mean, water bottle. What's wrong with that?
The thing about the water bottle, and this may not be what's motivating the Rubio campaign, but if you're making public remarks and you have a water bottle, you have to unscrew the top, drink from it, screw the top back, and that just sort of prolongs the pause. Whereas if you just have a glass there's not the screwing and unscrewing of the top. And details like that can matter in politics and public presentation.
You don't think about these things, right?
You got to think about these in a campaign, I guess.
Oh, right. No wonder they hate you.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the Rubio campaign hates me. Who knows? Well, they think Politico has lost its mind, but that's the comment that Alex Conan gave.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Well, the Rubio piece just ran this morning. That's when I saw it, right?
Yeah, or late yesterday.
So they haven't had a chance to react yet. You watch.
Oh, man.
I look forward to it.
When you leave the studio, they'll be asking you. Ben Carson, have you traveled with Ben Carson at all?
I've seen him out on the trail. I've seen him at summits and stuff like that, but I've not gone out with him individually.
Yeah. All right. So here's the deal. When you get the ride on the, if after this morning's program you are still on the list, when you finally get the ride on the
Trump Force
One, right? You have to call us from Trump Force One.
I will do my best.
Just tell them I have an important call. You can't take off yet. I have an important call I have to make.
With Jerry Falwell's favorite Democrat, they'll like that. Trump's a fan of Falwell's son.
There it is, yeah. You tell them you're a favorite Democrat, and then you're on my list. You know what list I'm talking about, too. I can't say it on the air. All right. I'm telling you, if you want the latest on Politico is the place to go, and particularly Ben Schreckinger's work on the road at Politico.com. All right, Ben, thanks for coming in this morning, sharing the fun with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Welcome back from Iowa, and I'll be back and wrap things up with today's parting shot. We'll be back. Okay, friends and neighbors, here we go. Second week of our December pledge drive for Free Speech TV, and we really, really, really need your help. We got a lot on our plate these days. December's a very busy time. I mean, you heard the president the other night. The president says we have to do everything we can to degrade and destroy ISIS. That's one big challenge. We've got to do everything we can to make guns not so easily accessible in this country. That's another big challenge. We've got to get all of our holiday shopping done. Oh, my God. And we've got to save free speech TV. That's another big challenge for December. That's why we're turning to you. And let's just get that one out of the way right now. Make your pledge today and do your bit to keep free speech TV going. You know, we've got a great, great partnership. I tell you that all the time. I love being part of it. We, Stephanie and Tom and I and Amy Goodman and everybody else, we bring you all the best programming, the best guests, the best commentary that we can every single day. And you help us stay on the air by making your pledges whenever we turn to you as generously as you can and keep that. So let's keep that great partnership going. The only full-time progressive television channel in the nation today. The only free, independent, freewheeling, totally uncensored programming coming to you every day. We know you appreciate that, but we couldn't do it without you. No corporate money, no government money. You are the blood and soul of free speech TV. So we ask you again to dig in as generously as you can. Every single pledge, no matter how large, no matter how small, is deeply appreciated by all of us. I'll give you some idea of what you might think about for $30. Pledge of $30. We'll send you a Bill Press Show Eco Journal and a pen set. For $60, that pledge, $5 a month. A free speech TV calendar with pictures of all your favorite hosts on it. For $120 pledge, $10 a month. 4 Bill Press Show pint glasses for $240, $20 a month. A great little package supporting the Women's Bean Project, which includes a contribution to them, plus a can of soup, a bundle of cornbread for you, and 2 of those Bill Press Show pint glasses. $30 a month pledge, $360, a beautiful hand-woven, one-of-a-kind Carol Press scarf for this winter. And for $1,000, if you can afford that, get yourself to Washington. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you in the next morning to meet the whole show here. We'll even get some donuts in from District Donuts and have a big party. Make your pledge today. Please go to 877-378-8669 or just go online to freespeech.org. Free Speech TV, great partnership. Let's keep it going. Make your pledge today, and thank you.
The Parting Shot with Bill Press. This is the Bill Press Show.
Well, you got to admit that Republican politicians are so afraid of the NRA, they won't let anything soften their opposition to any and all forms of gun control. For a while after last week's mass murder in San Bernardino, they were worried because everybody was suddenly talking about guns again. But no sooner did the FBI announce that the man and the wife who opened fire on the San Bernardino County holiday party last week had been radicalized, indeed had expressed loyalty to ISIS, then conservatives crowed, "See, this is all about terrorism. Guns have nothing to do with it." How simplistic and how wrong. Yes, those were 2 homegrown terrorists, but yes, they also had mass murder weapons they should not have been able to buy and would not have been able to buy if sensible gun safety measures were in place, like a ban on assault weapons, including the AR-15, which they used. No, it's not one or the other. We have to do whatever we can to prevent acts of terror, and we have to do whatever we can at the same time to block easy access to weapons of terror. Surely we can do both. Surely we can take on both terrorism and guns, and we have to. That's my parting shot for today, folks. Thanks for being with us. I'm Bill Press. We'll be back tomorrow, and
this is the Bill Press Show.